Kettlebell, I chose a classic 8 kilo kettlebell. Actually, my husband bought it for me, and his was this massive pro grade kettlebell that looked ginormous and was a 16 kilogram kettlebell, and I couldn't actually lift the 16 kilo at the time, and I didn't understand the difference between mine and his, and I had to do a lot of research, and I actually spent a lot of money and bought the wrong sizes and the wrong shapes to begin with, and I want you to avoid doing that so you're not wasting your money on, you know, a whole heap of kettlebells and they sit in the garage and gather dust, and in the end you just end up using one or two. So what we want to discuss is how to choose the right one for you. So there are two types of kettlebells. There's the classic kettlebells and the pro grade kettlebells. So the classics are basically, they come in different shapes. So they start with a small ball and they get bigger and bigger. And the handles also get thicker and thicker as they get bigger and bigger. So I'll show you what I mean. So this one is a 4 kilo kettlebell and it looks like that. So that's the size and shape. This one is a 6 kilo kettlebell. As you can see, it's already a lot bigger than the other one. The handle's a lot thicker. And this is an 8 kilo kettlebell. So again, the shape is bigger. The handle is even thicker. So what that means is when you go to do a kettlebell clean, which looks like this, so where it lands on my hand, which is right about here, is going to be different to a 6 kilo or an 8 kilo. So here's the 8 kilo, and my 4 kilo was approximately here, and my 8 kilos over here. So the feeling is completely different. And not only am I taking on the extra weight, I'm also having to relearn how to use the kettlebell. So the other style of kettlebells are called a pro grade, and they look like this. Now they're ugly and they're big, I admit, yet an 8 kilo looks exactly the same as a 12, it looks exactly the same as a 16, and so forth. So when I go from an 8 kilo to a 12 kilo, I can actually feel the weight in the same position as the previous weight that I was using. So now I know where it's going to land. I know how to catch it, and I know how to control it. Whereas before, with the classics, I have to relearn as I go up with the weight. Not only am I going to be taking on an extra 4 kilos, I'm also going to have to learn how to reuse it. So, in my opinion, I like to use the pro grade kettlebells. Now, to choose the weight to start with, a great place for a female who has never exercised would be a 6 kilo. For a male would be a 12 kilo. If you have done a little bit of moderate exercise, it doesn't have to be a lot. An 8 kilo for a female is a great place to start, and a 16 for a male is a great place to start. Now all you need is one kettlebell to begin with. Now